Hi, this is Shadi, and today I have a serious discussion to have with you. This is something that I have thought about for quite some time now, and I really do believe that this is an important subject to be had on multiple levels, whether it is the sports aspect, street aspect, self-defense, and just overall the development of all gi related grappling disciplines. But before I do that, I just want to say to the patrons, first of all, thank you so much for deciding to support me. This means a lot. So I have decided to upload once a week, not once every 2 weeks. So today I just uploaded a video. So please, if you are a patron, please go and check it out. If you are not a patron and interested, the link will be in the description. So I uploaded a very lengthy video today, sneak peek. It's about IGF politics all throughout the 20th century. So today I want to talk about Gi MMA, and in my opinion it should be as big as no Gi MMA like the UFC, Bellator, PFL. In my opinion it should be big for the following reasons. The first one, let's talk the obvious one, which is the sports aspect and how to take these disciplines to the next level. For example, gi, first of all, gi itself needs to have so much talent, so much dedication, so much work, and so much around it when it comes to tactics, etc. So just doing MMA with no gi alone and basically restricting it to Reebok slacks, in my opinion, is doing the sport not a good favor. Obviously it's the no gi and wrestling aspect are evolving, but when it comes to no gi, it should be a thing. I know, for example, this is nothing new. You see here, for example, the Lumax Cup that Kikuda participated in. It was in the Keiko gi. You have combat sambo, as you see, but in my opinion, in the West, even Japan, gi MMA should be as big. When it comes to the sports aspect, just imagine, for example, the following. You'd have these different camps that are oriented differently. I'll give you an example. You'd have one camp that is judo oriented. You'd have the philosophy of the gi based solely or mainly on throwing, and if you want to land on the ground, you should be readily available to either submit with the choke or the arm lock, or really be in a very favorable position, top position. Since there's no osaikomi, you'll probably be ready for ground and pound, and also work a lot on your passing. So that's mainly the judo aspect. If someone's like camp is oriented with judo, for example, the head coach is Ishii or Yoshida or any other judo legend. For example, you'd have the sambo oriented camp, which would be mainly on the throwing, the kumikata as well, and also these rolling leg locks from the stand up to the ground. Why is this so important and should be a thing? Because you would have far more efficient tactics. For example, the stuff that we do in just simply grappling. For example, the kumikata that you do in judo or sambo or even BJJ, if you think about it, you are in a very risky distance wise. You can get elbows and knees and headbutts easily. You are not in a clinch where everything is just shut off and closed, but rather you are in a very dangerous zone to be at. So obviously stuff like kumikata will evolve tremendously. You'll have someone that evolving their kumikata to constantly be on the move, or you'll have kumikata or grip fighting that will constantly evolve into the moment I get my grip is the moment I go for that ippon. A lot of the Japanese work this way. You have the Koreans that are constantly moving your gi and moving you around in order to destabilize you as much as possible. There are so many tactics that can evolve to suit the striking aspect that will enter the Gi MMA prospect. For example, you can also have a jiu-jitsu oriented MMA camp for this particular fighter, because even in just normal MMA, the one we watch in UFC, no camp is alike. So you'd have one mainly oriented on striking, one on wrestling, one on jiu-jitsu, and the same thing for the Gi MMA. For example, the jiu-jitsu, they can really develop those old classical guards like De La Riva, bicep hooks or the spiders, etc. Even the collar and sleeve and the close guard, they will develop them in such a way that can cripple someone in their guard to really prevent them from even hitting one single jab or a cross. So really, for example, working your de la hiva, really blocking the hips and of course the arms. Same with close guard, same with bicep hooks or the spider guard. That will really take those classical elements of the gi, whether it is judo, sambo, BJJ, to really the next level, because there's just so much to take into consideration, and people have done it. But imagine if you do it on such a massive scale, you will have far more evolution in the gi game when it comes to really involving striking. So that's, in my opinion, the first reason. The second reason is that when you only do no-gi MMA like UFC, Bellator, you are really dismissing and somewhat, in my opinion, disrespecting a lot of highly talented gi grapplers, like for example IBJJ world champions, judokas, and also of course sambo champions, all of which, for example, they have to relinquish the gi and they have to adopt very different various tactics when it comes to the octagon, because there is no gi and you're wearing those Reebok slacks, which is not reflective of reality unless you're on a beach. But this is also something that a lot of people can really show their talent. Someone that's mainly oriented around the gi, like I said, not only judo but also BJJ and sambo. So also, in my opinion, the pants should be a thing, because I don't know about you, but in newaza, in judo turnovers, really preventing someone from passing your guard, etc., the pants are just crucial, and anything on your opponent or anything on you will be used against you. So only limiting to the jacket, in my opinion, no, you should have full options of clothing, kind of like the naked one in the MMA, just Reebok shorts. So that's the second reason, is that a lot of people are not getting the credit they deserve. And also there is this notion that, oh, if it's not done in MMA, or if you shouldn't do it in MMA, it doesn't work, and also you are below the MMA fighters or the wrestlers or the no-gi BJJ grapplers. There is this notion, which is obviously false. MMA is not the end-all be-all even for self-defense, which brings me to my final point. Self-defense is also very crucial for this, because Hiron Gracie said something and really resonated with me. He said gi is more street than no gi, and he is absolutely right. For those who only wrestled or only done no gi like 10th Planet, I will tell you something. In a street fight, everything on you will be used against you. John Danaher says the lapel is like a rope around your neck. People will hang you with it. So you really should know at least how to defend it. Maybe your preference is no gi, then you can go to just regular MMA, that's fine. But for those who have a lot of tactics revolving the gi when it comes to submissions, throwing, just moving around, really destabilizing someone, they should not be left aside. So in my opinion, no gi MMA should be big, and it should be worldwide, as big as regular MMA that we have today, not just restricted for combat sambo or Lumex Cup or these challenges. For example, I'll give you an example why it would be so exciting. For example, you had Hoist versus Hidehiko Yoshida, and one is an Olympic judo champion and one is a high-level jiu-jitsu black belt. So one had the philosophy of playing guard, retaining guard, and also submitting from his guard. He went for leg locks, he went for upper body submissions, you saw the match. And the other was really relying on the throwing and also passing and smashing a guard and really getting top position, and one of them had to win. So this is basically like these grappling philosophies with the gi going against each other, and also involving striking, because this is MMA, and also far more reflective to the streets when it comes to self-defense. We say MMA is the most reflective aspect when it comes to self-defense and street fights. I would say if you put on clothes, it will be far more real, because everything on you will be used against you. So these are my 3 reasons why gi MMA should be a thing. and it should be as big as no gi. So if you have any other arguments for or even against, let me know down below. I'm not gonna talk about leg locks or wrist locks. I think all of this should be allowed, but when it comes to like really gripping and grip fighting, etc., it should be done. So if you have anything else to add, let me know down below. Also, consider supporting me on Patreon. I have exclusive content for the patrons only, and of course check out Josh Simon's shop for historical t-shirts and also historical articles. So if you have anything else to add, leave it below. This was Shadi, and thank you for listening.